Atlanta's Jason Terry, though, got hot late in the first half. He hits a pull-up three-pointer. Then Terry nails another three. He's not through off the steal. Terry drops in, not a three-pointer, but a layup. Terry with 19 points, a dozen assists. Hawks, though, only by 3 at the half. Atlanta, though, kept running in the second half. Tim Thomas drives baseline. He gets blocked by Theo Ratliff. That leads to Terry finding Sharif Abdul-Rahim for the jam. Abdul-Rahim with 14 points, and the Hawks are flying. Watch him hustle here late in the game. The pass to Ira Newble is well overthrown, but Newble tries to save it by diving over the scorer's table. He'd go upside down, but eventually get back up and shrug it off. Now Robinson. We saved the best for last as the big dog went to work with the floater. Then Glenn Robinson hits the turnaround jumper. How about a three-pointer for good measure against his old team? 23 points for Robinson against the Bucks as the Hawks win. Nowitzki had a huge hand in the Dallas Mavericks' red-hot starts. Now we'll see how much he's going to be missed. After twisting an ankle on Tuesday, Nowitzki sat out of Wednesday's matchup with in-state Texas rival San Antonio, but Michael Finley certainly did the work in the opening half as the Mavs forged a 7-point lead. In the second quarter, the Spurs get some help from an unexpected source. Tony Parker nailing the three. Then watch as Parker dribbles up, nails another three-pointer, part of a career-high 32-point night. Spurs, though, down 1 at half. Second half, Spurs go to the bench for some help. Danny Ferry to Steven Jackson for three. Spurs build their lead to 11. More from Finley, though, as he closes the gaps for the Mavs. Little give and go with Steve Nash. That results in a three-pointer, but the Spurs seal it late. Parker, this time playing provider to Jackson for the slam, as San Antonio hands Dallas only their third loss of the season. Phoenix and the Celtics mixed it up in Boston. Paul Pierce driving hard, and he goes down equally as hard on his face. He'd leave the game, come back in the fourth quarter. Boston coach Jim O'Brien was ejected after arguing a no call on the play. Pierce, as we said, came back late in the game, hitting the fadeaway there as the Celtics maintain an 81-76 advantage. The Suns weren't done, though. Stephon Marbury, watch the move up top, the drive to lane for the floater. Suns lead by 1. The Suns then would burn the Celtics down the stretch. Shawn Marion driving baseline for the dunk. Suns win for only the second time away from home and set up a fantastic finish off the Toronto turnover. The Cavs' John Wagner throws up the alley-oop for Ricky Davis, who finishes in style. The one-handed dunk, another high-flying beauty for the play of the day. Houston provided the opposition. Steve Francis misses both free throws, but look at Yao Ming, the rookie, grabbing the rebound and hitting the hook shot. 18 points for Yao. Jason Williams drives past Francis, hits the layup. Grizzlies up by 3. Later, Francis takes the pass from Yao. He knocks down the 3. On to overtime, tied at 105. In the extra period, the Grizzlies get the job done. Williams drives, then pulls back for the pretty fadeaway jumper. Then Wesley Pearson nails the rainbow 3. Break up the Grizzlies. They've won 4 in a row. The reigning yet struggling NBA champion LA Lakers played host to New Orleans. Shaquille O'Neal gets the tough bucket and the foul. Lakers up early. But that was the key, early, as the Hornets started running away with this one. Baron Davis, the behind-the-back pass to Courtney Alexander. Hornets by 8. More from Davis in the first half as he pulls up, hits the three-pointer. Hornets ahead by a dozen. More of the same in the second half. Jamal Mashburn dribbles in the paint. This is 2 of his 21 points of the night. Later in the fourth, watch Davis drive, spin, and hit the floater over the big man, O'Neal. Then New Orleans runs away with it. Davis picking up the loose ball from Kobe Bryant. He flings it to Alexander for the dunk. Lakers are stunned again at home. Check out the complete NBA scorecard as we're hoping to take out native New Yorker John McEnroe in the process. Antoine Walker got things going early for Boston. Look at the nice crossover, and he puts the layup down. A little later, Walker drives. This time gives the great no-look behind the back pass to Eric Williams for the layup. Celtics up by 9 in the opening half. Paul Pierce then put it away. Watch him spot up for the three. A little later, more Pierce as he frees himself up along the baseline and calmly drops in the jumper. Part of a 29-point day. New York has dropped now 7 straight to the men in green. Utah and Sacramento played a tight one in Salt Lake City. Fourth quarter, Kings up 2. That is until Scott Padgett nails the 3. Jazz now have the 1-point lead. Now tied at 96, John Stockton misses the free throw. John Amici is called for a personal foul on Chris Webber. Webber sank both free throws. Kings out in front. Last chance for the home team. Padgett misses the 3 for the win. Jazz fans don't like the officiating, and they show the referees just how they feel as the Kings make the home fans.
Ron Slay passes to John Siggins, who heaves it from midcourt for a dramatic and sensational winner. A miracle three-pointer that just beats the buzzer. Take another look at the basket, which gave Tennessee a 1-point win and which lands Higgins our World Sport Play of the Day. Lakers fans got more than she bargained for at the Staples Center on Sunday as Orlando's Ryan Humphrey ended up in the crowd. I can't believe she didn't ask for an autograph or at least a new bucket of popcorn. Well, here's a great move from Tracy McGrady, a fake, and he sinks the shot over the head of Kobe Bryant. The Lakers continued to struggle. They'd lost their last 2, but they were ahead by 8 at the break when Derek Fisher nailed a 3 from the corner, and they stretched that lead in the third. Bryant was fouled here as he sunk the shot. He landed 21 points in what was a comfortable win in the end. Shaquille O'Neal landed 30 of their 107. He finished with the slam to cap a 107-84 victory. Michael Jordan tied his season high with 40 minutes for Washington against Toronto, but he also equaled a career low by scoring just 2 points. Here they are. The Wizards lead by 4 there, but Jordan played his part for the team in a 13-point win. This one of 9 assists as Christian Laettner gets underneath for the layup. On the road in Miami and trailed by 3 points with just 5 seconds left until Steve Francis did that. It's in, and so at 91 each, they went into overtime. The Houston guard finished up with 21 points and was the difference. He dished to Yao Ming there, who slammed home 2 of his 15 points. But Eddie Jones did everything in his power for the Heat. 32 points on the night from him, and he put Miami into a 1-point lead at 100-99. But the Rockets snapped a 2-game losing streak with a score on the very next play. Coutinho Mobley put them back ahead 14 seconds later, and they held on. The Heat's last chance fell to Mike James. It wasn't good enough, though, and the Rockets took this one by 5.
Well, Jordan was in great form on Tuesday night, only 2 days after scoring a career-low 2 points. Jerry Stackhouse buries a 3-pointer. 27-18 Wizards. Second quarter now, Wizards up by 13. Michael Jordan dribbles, spins and hits the jumper. Fourth quarter, more Wizards. Stackhouse drives and hits the tough reverse lay-in. He had 23 points on the day. In the fourth quarter, the Hawks tried to make a run. Glenn Robinson nails the 3 to reduce the deficit to 6. But in the fourth quarter, the Wizards were just too much. Charles Oakley fires a nice pass to his airness for the reverse lay-in. And then later in the fourth, Jordan showing he still has the magic. Watch him crossover Sharif Abdur-Rahim, get into the lane and hit the high arc left-handed hook shot. Take another look. MJ scored a season-high 30 points as the Wizards win by 10. Meanwhile, in a game between the teams with the NBA's best records this season, the Pacers took on the Dallas Mavericks. First quarter, Steve Nash dishes to Dirk Nowitzki, who hits the lay-in. At the other end, Jamal Tinsley gets around Nash with the spin move and hits the layup. 23-12 Mavs. Dirk Nowitzki now throws the alley-oop pass to Michael Finley for the slam. Finley had 33 points and 13 rebounds. Then Pacers' Jermaine O'Neal takes the pass in the lane and finishes with the jam and the foul. 33-24 Mavs. There was trouble in the second quarter. Ron Artest goes after Rahab Bell. Both players were ejected for the game for that little confrontation. Now in the third quarter, and Nick Van Exel hits the pretty teardrop shot as the Mavericks cruise to a comfortable victory.
Were trailing by 3 points, but Lindsay Hunter found his range from outside the arc to tie the game up and take the game into overtime. Milwaukee once again opened up a lead in extra period. Ray Allen with another three-pointer, but Toronto won the game late, outscoring the home side 9-2 in the final 67 to win by 122 to 117.
The struggling Denver Nuggets. Dallas are the NBA team to beat at the moment, and they arrived in Mile High City with 21 wins and just 3 losses. That's almost a mirror image of the Nuggets' 20 losses and 5 wins. All-star forward Dirk Nowitzki was struggling with a sprained right ankle, and guard Steve Nash was playing on a sore leg, so Michael Finley took on the burden of the Mavs scoring, notching up 31. This wasn't a classic Dallas shooting game. They connected on less than a third of their attempts, but when they did, they managed to look occasionally good. They'll have to do more than just look good on Friday, though. Karl Malone and the Utah Jazz come to town looking to break a 4-game losing skid. And what the Mavs cannot do is nearly blow a big lead as they did in Denver. That Nowitzki 3 gave them a 14-point lead midway through the final period. But with the clock ticking down, they let the Nuggets fight their way back into the game, reducing the deficit to just 5 points. Still, the Mavs managed to hold on, 80 points to 75 the final score, and they can improve their record with just 1 game on the road between now and the 8th of January. Phil Sheehan, BBC News.
On American soil, of course, but it now seems he's finally getting used to it. There with a slam off the Glenn Rice miss. And there was more where that came from, as the Chinese centre continued to show why he was this year's #1 draft pick, the lane helping the Rockets to a 5-point lead. Indeed, this was a performance that would later have Rockets coach Rudy Tomjanovich waxing lyrical on Yal's talents and likening him to former Rockets legend Hakeem Olajuwon. A 29-point tally, 1 short of the season high for Yal, complete with 10 rebounds and 6 blocks, helping the Rockets to a 95-83 win.
But it was to be a disappointing night for him, as it was for Chris Webber. Not often you see shots like this. Disallowed, though, because he threw it after the buzzer. What a shame. Webber did land 23 points, though. And after a sharp bibby sunk 3 of his 17, the Kings were up by 1 in the 4th. But they didn't count on Tim Duncan to spoil the party. He landed 23 points, and when he combined with David Robinson, the Spurs went into a 5-point lead. The Kings, desperate to preserve a 3-game winning streak, came back. Bobby Jackson scored 21, but they fell just short in the end. Doug Christie missing a 3 late in the game, and so San Antonio cling on for a narrow 2-point win.
Allen Iverson stealing the ball. Iverson was like a pickpocket, had 9 steals on the night, and an easy lay-in. Lakers, though, had a 52-47 lead. He's liking that, doesn't he? Sixers dominating in the third. Iverson taking it to the hoop. He misses, but Brian Skinner's there for the little putback. The Sixers up by 7 at that point. Kobe would, though, come on strong in the 4th. This is his quarter, isn't it? The alley-oop from Devin George. That was nasty. He had 44 points, and then getting the pass to Rick Fox here. That would send it to overtime. 94-94 to the extra session, and in overtime, Shaq down low in the post. Gets called, though, for the offensive foul. That's his 6th. He is out of the game. So with the big guy out, the Sixers would take advantage. No Shaq. Of course, no Shaq in the middle. Still drop bombs from the outside. Iverson nails the 3, and then Iverson looking inside. Nice lay-in, though, by Snow. No Shaq in the middle. You can do that. Late in overtime, Iverson would miss a couple of free throws to put it away with 5.6 seconds left. L.A. needs an easy basket, but can you believe it? Or his pass gets bounced off of Rick Fox, and that is it. The Lakers season in a microcosm. The Sixers win it, 107-104. What a finish between Portland and Golden State. Maurice Cheeks and the Blazers on the road at Golden State, and the Blazers, Ruben Patterson takes the pass, gets fouled, and sinks the layup. Blazers up by 2 in the 4th. Tied at 105 in the 4th quarter, the Warriors, Antoine Jamison, running it in. And the Warriors now have a 2-point lead, fourth quarter. Up by 2 are the Warriors. The Blazers get it to Rasheed Wallace. And I know this guy's got a bad attitude, but he's still one of the best of the game. Powers at home, and he proves it here in the fourth quarter. Rasheed Wallace needing a 2-pointer for the win. Can't find anybody past you. I'll shoot it myself. That's why the Blazers win, 113-111. After the game, though, the players had to be separated. A little jawing, I guess. Easy, guys. We're not even to the All-Star break yet. We will, by the way, go to the break with the rest of the scores from the NBA. It's really Paul Pierce, but he's wearing Celtic green against the T-Wolves. And look at this guy flying over Joe Smith. In fact, going right into Joe Smith's grill. That is what we call a facial, a disrespect. That is also our world sport play of the day.
Center they experienced their first home loss of the season. Third quarter, Mavs down 11, and Michael Finley explodes the hole for the slam. Jazz lead 56-47. Frustrations were really showing for the Mavs. Here's the head coach, Don Nelson. He gets ejected. And then his son, Donnie, is told to leave as well. And those ejections really didn't help Dallas on the day. John Stockton hits the jumper and gets the foul, falling down as the Jazz win 93-81. On the night, Ron Mercer throwing up the ridiculous circus shot. No one thinks it's going in, least of all Mercer, but it does. Take another look as Mercer's miracle earns him our world sports play of the day.
When you got it, you got it.
Trying to win their fourth straight. Kevin Garnett. This guy's a 7-footer. Think he's got some touch? Nice touch. T-Wolves up 84-79. Very next possession.
7 of them in the fourth quarter.
Garnett, again, a 7-footer, but shooting like a shooting guard. I mean, who says big guys can't drop them from long range in the fourth quarter? T-Wolves with an 8-point lead. And they called this guy the Shaq and the Mac when he was in college, Gary Trent. This might be why. Big throwdown. Then in the fourth quarter, Yao Ming would get abused defensively. Rod Strickland driving past Yao Ming. He gets the floater to go. The T-Wolves take it by a final of 98-86. We're going to toss to the break.
Suns getting a huge game from Shawn Marion. Hits the three-pointer. He had 28 in the game. Chris Webber had a fantastic night for the Kings with a triple-double, 29 points, 15 rebounds, 11 assists, as the Kings stayed close throughout the game. Vlade Divac also doing his best, getting the basket and the foul down low. But it wasn't enough for Sacramento to get the victory. They recently lost their first home game, and they wouldn't come out on top in this one either. Amari Stoudemire gets the lay-in and the foul. The rookie, one of the candidates for Rookie of the Year so far, as the Suns winning it 110-101.
He's determined to lick the Mavericks back into shape. The ball rebounds to the big German here, and he drains the jumper. Dallas lead by 4 in the fourth. Nowitzki scored 30 points on the night, and 10 of them came as the Mavericks came on strong in the last quarter, and they led until the end. The Wizards conjured a fight back, as it happens, and they narrowed the gap to just 1 as Jerry Stackhouse hit 3 of his 28 there. Now look at this. Michael Jordan whistled for travelling after just 6 steps. Not many refs would be brave enough to do that. What do you think? The Mavs still led by 1 with the shot clock winding down. Nick Van Exel works the pick and roll with Nowitzki, who buries another jumper. And they made absolutely sure when Steve Nash split Jordan and Larry Hughes to land a left-handed scoop shot. Pride restored then. Dallas are now 13-1 at home. Well, poor lighting marred the finish of Houston's home match against Utah. The Rockets were 5 points up here in the third when Steve Francis put the jumper over John Stockton. Houston had lost just twice at home all season, and they looked in control when Yao Ming put up a short jumper to maintain their lead. The Chinese rookie shot 18 for the Rockets, but Steve Francis landed 26 for the Jazz. A good reverse lay-in there from him in the fourth. And then Karl Malone took over to wrap up the victory. In the end, the Jazz were just too much down the stretch. John Stockton fed the 39-year-old veteran, who put up the jumper to reopen a 5-point lead, and they held on for the win by 96 points to 91.
It looked good early in the game when Mike Miller scored to open up a 5-point lead. But the visitors stepped up the pace in the second quarter, Ray Allen picking up 2 points here in his overall match total of 35. Michael Redd scored with what proved to be an important shot from outside the arc to put Milwaukee into the lead with just 4 minutes remaining in the game. And another 3-pointer from Allen with just over a minute left sealed their win by 108 points to 103.
The rivalry was taken to a new level with a preseason clash in October in which the Lakers' Rick Fox and Sacramento's Doug Christie traded blows 2 minutes into the game. After they were ejected, they continued their dispute off-court, the brawl costing Fox a suspension for the first 6 games of the regular season and Christie for the first 2. The Lakers head into the holiday showdown with a disappointing 11-18 record. The Kings are at 22 and
match discovered there. Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal helped put the Lakers into a 12-point lead by the third quarter, but their overall shooting stats were poor. A 37% return between them, though Bryant still ended up with 27 points, and so did Shaq. Here's the big man in the second, getting the rebound and finishing with a slam. It was arguably the Lakers' best half of the season, but the Kings used their speed to break out in the third quarter. Divac got the rebound and the pass to Doug Christie for the lay-in. And then with the scores tied at 72, Peja Stojakovic drained a 3-pointer to put the Kings ahead. He hit a season-high 26 points, and the Kings consolidated that lead when Bobby Jackson's pass was deflected. Doug Christie chased it down and got it back to Jackson, who lobbed it up for Keon Clark to slam it home. And Mike Bibby completed a Kings win with 2 of his 14 points on the night. The hapless Lakers now lie 6th in their division and are already 11.5 games behind Sacramento. Christmas Day also saw a rematch of the Eastern Conference Finals between Boston and New Jersey. Bit of an anticlimax, though, as the Nets met with very little resistance, as Kenyon Martin discovered there. Martin and Jason Kidd both weighed in with 16 points each, and by the time the latter nailed that jumper in the second, the Nets were ahead by 14. The Celtics just couldn't hit the target and conceded easy baskets from start to finish, and at one stage they trailed by an embarrassing 38 points. Kidd on target again. The Nets extended their home winning streak to 11 with this one, and Kidd was involved again with a steal and the pass to Richard Jefferson, 2 of his 22 coming up, as they won out by 117 to 81. Well, it was much closer between the Detroit Pistons and the Orlando Magic. The shot clock is winding down here, and Darrell Armstrong is either magic or very, very lucky. Take another look at his improvised hook shot, which in the end settled the game for them. Orlando winning by 5. Okay, we're in the fourth here as Steve Nash feeds Dirk Nowitzki for the turnaround jumper. Very nice. And the Mavericks lead by 1. The Hornets had only lost once before at the New Orleans Arena this season, and they stayed in touch with this huge dunk from P.J. Brown with just 67 seconds left. Now, Nowitzki scored 23 points on the night, but he was unable to clinch the win, missing the lay-in, and so the Hornets raced up to the other end. A 3-point chance for David Wesley, no good for him, and the Hornets got another chance. Baron Davis with the long rebound. He feeds Wesley again, but still no luck. And the Mavericks' Nick Van Exel smothers the danger. 2 points were the difference in the end as Nowitzki blocked Davis's last gasp shot, and the Mavs took this one 83 to 81.